Tonight on Newswatch, Athens eyes joining 2 national settlements, what the city plans to do with the money, and Ohio lawmakers face a fast-approaching deadline to submit a new congressional map. But what happened to Governor DeWine's promise to Ohioans? And in sports, the Bobcats took a loss to the defending national champions. Newswatch starts right now. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld. Hard to believe it's almost fall, but these temperatures aren't letting up just yet. Let's check in with our forecaster, Lexi Bell-Polsey, with just how hot it's going to get this week.
Yeah, Charlie, it's going to get real hot this week, but we are going to have a little bit of a brief cool down, but we'll get more into that in a second. Currently here, it is clear skies with 86 degrees with winds from our southeast at about 6 miles per hour. Now, because of those winds from our southeast, we are starting to get a little bit of that warm air coming in from our south. Now, because of this high pressure that we've been experiencing for the last week and a half, we have had really clear skies, which has caused for a lot of surface heating, which is causing us to be in a little bit more of a drought, but we'll get more into that later on. Now, with that high pressure hanging out, we have those beautiful clear skies, but we did see some increasing cloud cover. That is because of a low pressure system off the coast that's going to be bringing us a little bit of clouds as we go into our night tonight. But today we had that high of 89 with mostly cloudy skies and a low of 59, and tonight we can expect that low of 59 with mostly cloudy skies and tomorrow's sunrise at 7:09 a.m.
Thanks, Lexi. Athens city government meets tonight to advance 2 resolutions to join 2 national opioid settlements. Athens Mayor Steve Patterson says the city has accumulated over $100,000 in previous settlements, and with the influx of new revenue, Mayor Patterson says the city plans to put it towards a new initiative.
I have been working for a while now with Sean Stover over at Jobs and Family Services to work on creating a reentry program.
Patterson went on to say the plan could involve the city providing jobs training through seasonal work. This could include mowing at local cemeteries, working with nearby landscaping businesses, and working in conjunction with Hopewell and Integrated Services to provide the opportunities. With a key deadline to approve new congressional maps fast approaching, no reforms are in sight for Ohio voters. After voters rejected the Citizens Not Politicians Amendment, which was issue 1 on the November ballot, Governor Mike DeWine promised he would push his own plan. The amendment sought a 15-member citizen-led commission to redraw the congressional map of Ohio. As the September 30th deadline looms, lawmakers must pass a bipartisan congressional map. The governor now says there isn't time to overhaul the process before the maps are drawn. Athens City School District scores highly on its state issue report card. The report measures students' abilities in 6 different categories on a 5-star rating system. Those categories include early literacy, achievement, and college, career, military, and workforce readiness. Athens earned perfect scores in gap closing and progress, which both measure student growth, but fell short in graduation, only scoring 2 out of 5 stars. The Trump administration is set to send hundreds of millions of dollars to historically black colleges and charter schools. This money comes from many different budget cuts the Department of Education faces. The plan includes nearly $500 million in funding for HBCUs and tribal universities. Another $60 million is headed for charter schools. The White House asked for a 15% budget cut to the Department of Education next year. This comes as President Trump continues to try to permanently shut down the agency. A deal is now in place between China and the U.S. to keep short video app TikTok operational in the United States. There's a framework for a deal over the issue, according to the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. President Trump will meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping Friday to finalize it. A bipartisan bill signed by former President Joe Biden last year banned TikTok in the U.S. unless its China-based owner ByteDance divested its stake in the U.S. assets of the social media company. However, President Trump put enforcement of the ban on hold several times. President Donald Trump sets his focus on the nation's capital city. In an overnight post, the president says if local police in Washington, D.C. refuse to cooperate with immigration enforcement, he might declare another national emergency. Julia Benbrook reports from the White House with the latest.
In a Truth Social post overnight, President Donald Trump said that his emergency declaration in Washington, D.C., which recently expired, had reduced crime, and claimed that crime numbers would go back up if local police don't agree to cooperate with immigration and customs enforcement. The city's mayor, Muriel Bowser, recently issued an order requiring the city to cooperate with federal law enforcement indefinitely, but clarified that D.C. did not need a, quote, federal emergency. She has highlighted that there are no plans for the local Metropolitan Police Department to participate in immigration enforcement efforts going forward.
Immigration enforcement is not what MPD does. And with the end of the emergency, it won't be what MPD does in the future.
In his post, Trump threatened further action, saying in part, "If I allowed this to happen, crime would come roaring back. To the people and businesses of Washington, D.C., don't worry, I am with you and won't allow this to happen. I'll call a national emergency and federalize if necessary." This comes after the national emergency and federal takeover he declared in August expired last week, while Trump says the move was essential and has promised to expand these efforts to other cities. Critics have called it a dangerous power grab. In recent days, he announced plans to deploy troops to Memphis after weeks of speculation that Chicago would be the next city targeted by the Trump administration. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
The Treasury Department says it will cooperate with House Oversight Committee's Jeffrey Epstein investigation. In a letter to the committee, the department says it would turn over certain bank records, known as suspicious activity reports. These include sensitive information and require a specific process for how they get shared. It's not clear what information these financial records might contain. Suspicious activity reports do not necessarily indicate wrongdoing. Millions are filed each year. Few lead to law enforcement inquiries. Investigators are still piecing together details about the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk and the 22-year-old suspect in custody for the shooting. And officials are also planning security logistics for a large weekend memorial that could include several high-level administration officials. Karen Kafa is in Washington with the latest.
Vice President J.D. Vance hosting Monday's podcast episode of The Charlie Kirk Show from Washington, paying tribute to his close friend.
The thing is, every single person in this building, we owe something to Charlie.
Several members of Congress and the Trump administration attended a Washington memorial Sunday for the 31-year-old conservative activist who was shot and killed during a college campus event in Utah last week.
He believed in family and freedom, faith and virtue and patriotism.
And now planning is underway for a larger memorial at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona this upcoming Sunday. President Trump and other high-level administration officials are expected to attend, putting security under scrutiny during tense times.
What we're witnessing is the concept of an assassination culture, again, aligning to this normalization of violence.
Amid bipartisan lawmaker concerns about violence, Senate Republicans will be briefed on security by the U.S. Capitol Police and others on Tuesday. Meanwhile, in a highly unusual move, FBI Director Kash Patel revealed new details about the suspect in Kirk's killing in an interview with Fox News Monday.
The suspect wrote a note saying, "I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." That note was written before the shooting.
FBI officials and Justice Department prosecutors typically avoid sharing investigative details before prosecution, fearing it could jeopardize a case. The suspect, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, is slated to appear in state court in Utah on Tuesday. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Coming up, most Americans meet their protein goals, but an expert explains how you can eat a more balanced and nutritious diet. And in a preliminary investigation, China finds American tech giant in violation of laws. What's next for the world's leading chip maker?
And it was extremely hot today compared to the last week. Are we going to expect that to continue, or are we going to start to see a little bit of change, cool down? We'll find out more when Newswatch returns.
There's been a death.
Is it murder? This is a serious investigation.
The evidence begins with a lie and ends with the truth.
There's something you need to see.
There's a connection here. Go crack it.
You do not want the weight of this on your shoulders. You really have done your homework.
Quite thoroughly.
Sunday on WOUB. Your first guest, Margaret Thatcher.
There's never been a woman Prime Minister.
Thank you for joining us, Mrs. Thatcher.
Goodbye, then.
A quick intro, and then...
Presumably a two-shot.
He's your favourite journalist. You ready?
Yes. One mistake, and they will have me out.
We have to be tougher.
To a fourth term!
I know what I have to do. What on earth is going on?
Betrayal.
There's much about me that you don't know. It's quite the adventure. Shall we?
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
So a lot of heat on the way this week. Are we going to see any humidity?
Yeah, it's going to be mainly dry. Usually what we've been seeing the past couple years has just been hot and humid, but that's not the case this week. We're going to stay partially dry for the most part.
Yeah. Any chance of a drought?
Yeah, we are starting to inch more into some drought conditions. We are currently sitting at a D0, just abnormally dry right now, and we're not expected to get any relief from that really anytime soon. But currently here in Athens, it is 86 degrees with clear skies and winds from our southeast at 6 miles per hour, and that's allowing us to have those warmer conditions as we go into our night tonight. Now, we are starting to see a bit of cloud cover from this little bit of these rain showers and low pressure system right off of the coast of North Carolina and Virginia. That's causing us to have a little bit of cloud cover as we start to inch into our night tonight, causing us to be a little bit on the warmer side compared to the last few nights of this past couple weeks. Now today we had those mostly cloudy skies. Really was more so clear in the morning as we saw our day went on. We saw that increase in cloud cover. We did not quite hit that high of 89. We had about a high of 87 with a low of 59. Now, over the last 24 hours, you can see what high pressure really will do for us. Now, we had that low last night of about 54 degrees, and you can see as that sun came up and we started heating up, we shot up into our high of about 87 today. That's a big characteristic of high pressure. Clearer nights, colder nights, and clearer days, warmer days. Now, tonight, that's not the case. We have that low of 59 with mostly cloudy skies and sunrise at 7:03 a.m. Now, tomorrow we can expect partly sunny skies as some of those that cloud cover kind of starts to shift a little bit out of our area during the day, but it will come back again once again overnight tomorrow night. But we do have a forecasted high of 84, a lot cooler than today, partially because of a bit of a wind shift where we're going to start having some more cooler air coming into our area. Other than that, though, it's still going to be in the 80s with a low of 55. Now tomorrow, with our surface analysis here, we can see not much is going to go on nearby us other than this low pressure system down here bringing us that rain into the North Carolina and Virginia area. But for us, it's not really going to be impacting us other than those that overnight cloud cover. Wednesday, it's about the same ordeal with that high pressure. You're going to start seeing those showers kind of inching into West Virginia and getting a little bit closer to us, but that high pressure is going to push it out of our region. So unfortunately, if you're someone who likes to have some rainy weather, you're not really going to see it until possibly next week. This week we can expect those sunny skies with tonight and tomorrow night. We can expect that increase in cloud cover overnight. But otherwise, we're going to be seeing what we've been seeing this entire weekend and all of last week, with sunny skies during the day and clear nights overnight. We're going to have that quick little cool down these next couple of days, but we're going to go right back up into the upper 80s and low 90s as we get into our weekend. Now, it's going to be absolutely beautiful if you're someone who likes the heat, but unfortunately, if you're not, you're kind of out of luck.
Thanks, Lexi. Now, there is so much out there about eating high amounts of protein. And while protein is incredibly important for our health, consuming too much at the expense of other types of nutrition comes with some risks. Mandy Gaither has more on how much protein the average person actually needs and why experts say having a healthy diet is all about balance.
It's part of a healthy diet. Protein from sources like lean meats, chicken, eggs, and legumes can help you build and maintain muscle, but it should be just one part of your plate.
If protein has the best PR team in nutrition right now, fiber is really the unsung hero.
Michelle Cardell with Weight Watchers International says fiber gets lost in the protein hype, but it deserves just as much, if not more, attention. She says trends like the carnivore diet, made up of only animal products, are concerning.
It's extremely restrictive, cutting out nearly all plant foods, which are going to be rich sources of fiber and vitamins, minerals, and then phytochemicals that are linked to long-term health.
Cardell says actual protein needs vary based on age, body composition, activity level, and health goals. But she says a good rule of thumb for more sedentary adults is about 1 gram of protein per kilogram of weight. So for a person who weighs 150 pounds, that translates to about 68 grams of protein each day.
More active individuals or older adults, those who are seeking weight loss, and those looking to build or preserve muscle may benefit, though, from higher intakes.
Cardell says to aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal, but also make sure to keep a balance with your eating patterns.
As a dietitian, it would make my heart very happy if everyone's plate included a lean source of protein, a great source of fiber, and some healthy fats to help with that heart health and brain health.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
China will continue its investigation into NVIDIA after a preliminary report finds the U.S. chip giant in violation of China's anti-monopoly law. NVIDIA makes processors that power artificial intelligence, which both China and the U.S. believe are crucial for national security. This comes as the world's 2 largest economic powers hold their 4th round of talks in Madrid. China's State Administration for Market Regulation said NVIDIA broke the terms of a conditional agreement approval of its acquisition of an Israeli chip designer. Some relief for borrowers may be around the corner as the Federal Reserve could make cuts to interest rates later this week. The decision comes as President Trump called on the Fed to take more aggressive action cutting rates. This would mark the first decline from the central bank since December, but many Americans find themselves in a sitch with the rising cost of living and a difficult job market.
When you still have the high inflation, which is still pretty sticky, and then you add the low growth, that's where we start to worry a little bit.
Economic analysts say rising inflation and the Trump administration's tariffs are 2 of the main concerns for American households. Matthew Luzetti, the chief U.S. economist at Deutsche Bank, says he expects a 0.75 cut from the Fed for this month, October, and December. Text messages are the #1 method of contact for all fraud reports nationally, and Southeast Ohio is no exception. The city of Athens is seeing a surge in email scams targeting individuals and businesses. If you believe you're a victim of an online scam, reach out to local law enforcement. Michael Yoshida joins us with how you can save yourselves from this trap.
In the first half of 2025, the Federal Trade Commission's data shows more than 235,000 text message scams were reported in the U.S., resulting in $342 million in losses.
It's not hard to look down at your phone when you get a ding of a text message, and scammers bet on that.
Among the many types of these scams, fake job or employment texts.
It might sound really interesting, a great opportunity. They will say things like they're a recruiter from a well-known company.
In Q1 of this year, the FTC says there were about 29,000 reports of job or employment text scams, and it's on the rise. And with an economy where more people may be looking for a side hustle to earn extra cash or even a new job, it can be tempting to reply.
But there's always going to be this ask that you reply with personal information or financial information to pay you. What the scammer really wants is to steal your money or your identity. So just make sure you're not clicking those links and not responding to those text messages.
Other things to remember if you get a suspicious text. Take a pause. You may want to rush to respond so you don't miss the opportunity, but relax. Is it too good to be true? Maybe even show it to a friend and get their opinion. Research the number, have others reported it. Also, see if the company exists and is actually hiring. And if you decide it's a scam, report it. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida.
Next in sports, the Ohio Bobcats fought hard against Ohio State, but the Buckeyes pulled away. Catch the highlights and hear from Coach Smith after this tough game.
And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on X, Instagram, and YouTube. Stay tuned for a new episode of the Wrap-Up coming this Saturday.
When environmental catastrophe shocks a Siberian community, an unlikely hero spreads the word.
Эти пожары выделяют токсичный газ, который загрязняет воздух, посевы и грунтовые воды.
Despite government threats, she embarks on a dangerous quest to reveal the truth.
Я, конечно, не знаю, что со мной произойдет.
Black Snow on POV.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
Feel the wonder wherever we are.
It was kind of a moment of enlightenment.
So come get lost with me. We'll see the great unknown.
It's home to me. Wow, that's beautiful.
We could be the greatest story ever told.
When we all work together, we make change. I still believe in that.
I'm excited. You my hero, you know that, right?
Thank you.
Most people believe that doctors are healers.
Love is why we're here.
Life goes fast,
Our story is everyone's story.
but it's just the start.
Welcome to sports. I'm Andrew Woods. Ohio football took the short trip up Route 33 to Columbus as they tried to upset the #1 team in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes, under the lights at Ohio Stadium. The Bobcats came into the shoe looking for a big upset, but Ohio State struck first. Julian Sayin rolled out to avoid the Bobcats' pressure, looked downfield, fired for the end zone, and Max Clare is right there. Touchdown Buckeyes, and Brutus is fired up. Then Navarro sneaks it in for Hendricks, and he's headed off to the races. Tackler thinks he's got him, but oh no, you don't. This man has a one-way ticket for the end zone, and nothing's going to stop him from getting there. The Buckeyes are not going to go down like that, and Jeremiah Smith made sure of it by grabbing this one out of the air and coming down for 6 more. Finally, Sayin has one last thing to say. This one is over. He dropped the dime for Carnell Tate to lock this one up. Despite the loss, Ohio head coach Brian Smith still found some positives.
I thought our defense played extremely well. I think they played hard. I think that they tackled really well. There's a lot of good things that they did. And the ability to make the stops that they made in the red zone and force field goals and force them into tough decisions. I thought they played great. You know, I would have loved to have controlled the clock better on offense early in the game and kept them off the field for as well as I thought they were playing.
Now looking ahead to Week 5, Ohio's first MAC game has a kickoff time in network. Brian Smith and Eddie George will both make their MAC debuts as Ohio faces Bowling Green on September 27th at noon. The game will air nationally on CBS Sports Network. Speaking of the MAC, Ohio soccer opened their conference slate against Central Michigan and started hot by scoring a highlight reel goal, which they rode to a shutout win. This one was pretty crucial as the Bobcats hadn't won a game in more than 3 weeks. Early in the game, Quentin Tustavin fired off a very long shot that found the back of the net, which was all Ohio needed to win. The Bobcats shut down the Chippewas the rest of the way thanks to Celeste Sloma, who made 6 saves to earn her 3rd shutout of the season. Ohio will return home for the first time in 2 weeks when they continue MAC play against Bowling Green on Thursday. Ohio field hockey continued their long road stretch last weekend. The Bobcats traveled to California to play 3 games, including a 2-against Power 4 opponents. Although the Bobcats tested close in 2 of them, they could only come away with 1 win. After taking down UC Davis in overtime thanks to Sasha Dekotla's walk-off goal, the Bobcats played a close game against Stanford. Ohio scored first but couldn't hold their advantage against Stanford's strong offense, falling 2-1. Finally, the Cal Golden Bears dominated the Bobcats with a 9-0 victory. Ohio will return to the road on Friday when they head to Appalachian State to begin their MAC schedule before facing Davidson on Sunday. Finally, Ohio volleyball went 0-3 last weekend and will look to get back on track on the Charlotte Invitational this weekend. That's all for sports. Charlie, back to you.
And it was sunny and hot today, but what can we expect for the remainder of our work week? We'll find out more when Newswatch returns.
We'll be right back, but first, here's a look at what's coming up next on your public television station.
This is uncharted territory.
This is a perfect moment.
I've never seen this before.
Sometimes the smallest vibes tell the grandest of stories.
It's an absolute explosion of sound and color.
What took place here still leaves us in awe.
Wednesday on WOUB.
You are ready to go.
Did you get that? That is incredible.
We are a part of a revolution.
That, for me, is so exciting.
CasualWorks was not designed, created, or maintained by people who studied disability. They're people who studied opportunity. If a person has very limited movement and can make little teeny circles, there's a place for you. The idea of workers contorting themselves to a job is one business model. Our business model is that the job responds to the worker.
Well, a heck of a, hot spell to start out the fall season. So is it a good week to go to the pool?
Oh yeah, definitely getting that after work relaxation at the pool will be perfect for this week. Maybe not so much tomorrow if you're someone that would like to go to the pool when it's closer to 90, but next couple of days we're going to have a quick little cool down before we start going back into those upper 80s and into almost the 90s as we get into our weekend. And we are really going to hit the 90s on Friday especially, but this week is honestly, if you want to get that last little bit of pool time in, it's perfect for it. We only have a few weeks left of this lovely summer weather. We are going to have that brief little cool down, like I said, tomorrow and Wednesday with that low of 84. But we are going to start going back up into those upper 80s and even into the 90s as we head into the end of our week and begin our weekend, which we do have that possible chance of some rain showers on Sunday and Monday, giving us a little bit of relief, but still a little too far out to tell, so we can only hope.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Lexi Bell-Polsey and Andrew Woods, I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.